Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was forced last week to sign a new piece of legislation that actually scales back his book ban here in the state of Florida. The legislation that DeSantis signed actually limits the number of challenges that non-parents can file to get books moved out of libraries in our schools. Whereas under the original bill, you could just do it as many times as you want, even if you don't have kids in school. Bring all your challenges. We'll get rid of these damn LGBTQ books. And the new legislation says if you don't have kids in school, you can only do one book challenge per month. No more than 12 per year. Because, you know, we gotta worry with the parents, not with the people who don't even have kids in school. So there's several reasons why this is absolutely hilarious. First and foremost, they didn't think about this beforehand. They passed this original legislation saying that if one single person puts forward a challenge, the book gets pulled off the shelf until it is reviewed and accepted or completely rejected. They didn't stop to think, as they were selling this as a parental rights legislation, that maybe we ought to make sure it's only the people with kids, right? We're talking about parental rights, so maybe we should tailor this legislation to make sure it says parents with a kid in the school. You know, put a couple conditions on here so we don't have all these wackadoos filing these challenges. But nope, the Republicans in this state are not smart people. They are very dumb people. And I say that with all honesty. I firmly believe that every single Republican serving in an elected office here in the state of Florida at the state level is a complete and total fucking moron. And I'll say that all day long. I'll say that to their faces. Pretty much have in some instances, by the way. So, the other thing that is hilarious about this, and this is what really caused Ron DeSantis to do this, is that activists on the other side of the political aisle, right, those on the left, said, oh, okay, you're going to let anybody challenge books? Well, I'm going to challenge this book that's in every library in the school or in the state. It's got beatings. It's got graphic violence. It talks about rape. It talks about incest. It talks about slavery. It does all these horrible things. And of course, that book happens to be the Christian Bible. And that is what, of course, pissed DeSantis off, because by the letter of the original law he signed, it meets the criteria to get banned. But when he signed this legislation last week, DeSantis said, the idea that someone can use the parents' rights and the curriculum transparency to start objecting to every single book to try to make a mockery of this is just wrong. So he's blaming the activists, right? He's like, these people are making a mockery of my book ban. Yeah, they are. Because you're taking us back to Nazi Germany with this book ban. You're taking us back to the Dark Ages with this book ban. So far this year, according to PEN America, more than 4,200 books have been banned from school libraries across the country. And Florida leads the pack with 72% of those banned books being in our state right here. You, Ron, are the one making a mockery of the state of Florida, not the people issuing these challenges to those books that you don't want removed. This was a bad idea from the start. You're making us look stupid, and you are the only one being mocked because you made a mockery of our state. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.